I quit. I'm done. I've had enough. I'm not gonna try and get monetized on YouTube anymore. And I don't think you should try to get monetized on YouTube either. I think you should also quit. In this video, I'm gonna share a little bit about my journey, how I got to this point of just wanting to quit, and what's actually happened when I made this decision in my head and my heart. And I truly believe that this video, if you're trying to get monetized on YouTube and build a business, then this video is for you. Sometimes it feels like the more you want something, the more you actually push it away. Yet, the things that we don't care about as much, they just come to us so easily and so naturally. I feel like that's been my journey on YouTube. It's like the more I try, the more I push, the more I put effort in, the further away I am from being monetized on YouTube. Let me tell you a story. About a year ago, I discovered the Apple AirPods. I know, I'm a bit late to the game, but I discovered the AirPods and I told my husband, I'm going to get myself some AirPods. The next time a chunk of money comes my way, I'm going to use that money to buy some AirPods. Now, when I said that, I was kind of joking. I was just like, like, we're big savers, we're frugal, we don't spend a lot of money. You might be able to tell that I wear the same wardrobe for years on end. Just look at all my old videos. So we're laughing and I was completely detached from the idea of getting these AirPods. I thought it would be cool to have them, but I didn't really care. Anyway, the very next day, I get a phone call and it was from an old workplace that I worked for. They were doing their books and they realized that for an entire year, they had paid me at the lesser rate than they were supposed to. And just like that, they transferred a chunk of money into my bank account. At first, I forgot about what I said the night before. I called my husband and said, guess what? I just made all this money just out of nowhere. And he laughed and he reminded me that I said that the next time I got a chunk of money, I would go buy some AirPods. That's what I did. I went and got my AirPods. Another story. It's always around Apple products for me. Years and years and years ago, I had a normal Windows laptop and I was at uni at the time and I had an essay I had to do. Well, my laptop completely crapped itself. Completely just died. I went into a bit of a panic of, oh no, how am I gonna finish my essay? Lost my essay, like, wow. I told myself, I said, you know what? It's fine. A new laptop will find its way to me. It's gonna be okay. And then cheekily, I said, and gosh, wouldn't it be cool if it was a MacBook? Well, not kidding. The very next day, I go to this meeting that I was a part of, and a lady starts crying. She turns to me and she gave me her MacBook. She felt in her heart that I needed her MacBook. She was getting a new one, and she gave me her MacBook. I couldn't believe it. It seems like the more detached I am to a situation, the more detached I am to the results I want, the easier it comes to me. Just like when I met my husband. I was in a place where I was quite happy to be single. I loved my life. I was traveling. I didn't want a relationship. And then just like that, he walked in, this is in Bali, and we laid eyes on each other, and instantly I knew I was going to marry that man. So why is it that the one thing I want, well, obviously I wanted to marry my husband, but I've desperately wanted to be monetized on YouTube and it hasn't happened. I set myself a goal to be monetized on YouTube by December 2023. We're now in June 2024 and it hasn't happened. Now the thing is, I'm not a quitter. I just keep on going, I keep grinding away and I push and I try and I do everything I can to achieve my goals and my dreams. But at what point do you think, well, maybe that's just not for me? I've been doing YouTube for over 2 years now. I've almost reached 2,000 subscribers. So you might think it's wild that I'm quitting, that I've given up, that I don't care anymore. I still have a thriving business. I see clients, I'm making an income. I sell journaling, a journaling course on this platform, and you can go purchase that if you want. It's just that I realized I've become desperate, or I became desperate. And like I said earlier, it feels like the more you want something, the more you push it away, the more it moves further and further away from you. It got to a point where I had to self-reflect and look at myself and ask myself, is this worth it? It was keeping me up at night. I've been obsessed about YouTube for a long time. It's all I talk about. I probably really annoy my friends when I talk about YouTube. I'm not gonna quit YouTube as a platform. I love it. I love creating videos, and this is how clients find me. And I love sharing information with you and value with you and parts of myself here. I've just given up on trying to make money on it, because at the end of the day, is all this stress worth it? Now, when I started pondering this, something curious happened. A curious concept came my way. And without even realizing it, I've been applying this concept to my life. And I've seen evidence of it, such as the AirPods I shared, the MacBook. Recently, I just got a brand new car that I didn't have to pay any money for. Yes, my other car got struck by lightning, but it turned into a blessing in disguise. I had always thought it would be cool to have a new car, and I had this idea of what sort of car I'd want. But like I said, I'm frugal. I'll use what I have. But just like that, because I was so detached from the outcome and getting this new car, it just kind of found its way to me, which I'm so grateful for. The things in my home, the furniture, homewares, whatever, it just finds me on Marketplace, at the tip shop, in random weird places. But I've always been detached from it. I've always been detached from the outcome of getting it. I've just always had this quiet joy for the things in my life. But the one thing I haven't had a quiet joy about has been YouTube. I've been stressing about getting monetized on YouTube to feel like doing these weekly videos with you is worth it. But I want to tell you about this curious concept that I've recently learnt, because once I learnt it and started applying it to this channel, something really amazing happened. I learned about the backwards law. There are so many YouTube videos that you could watch on this if you do a YouTube search, but don't search until you finish this video. Basically, the backwards law is a term that came from a man called Alan Watts. And the concept of it comes from the East Asian Taoist, I hope I'm saying it right, and Zen Buddhist philosophies. Basically, it's the idea of what I've just been sharing with you. The more we pursue something, the further away it gets, and the more dissatisfied we are. We end up achieving the complete opposite of what we're going after, of what our goals are. And in the process of doing that, we feel this deep disappointment and sadness and regret. And then when you feel that disappointment, sadness, and regret, it just makes everything feel so much harder. And you end up doing things not with joy or peace. To put it simply, the harder we try, the less likely we'll succeed. I've seen that in when I'm looking for new counseling clients. It's like the harder I go out to try and pursue more clients, the quieter my business is. But the moment I let go and just trust the process and trust that the right people will find me, that's when my books become really busy. And then with the backwards law, the idea is that when we stop trying, that's when we'll have what we want. And it's when we stop trying, we become detached from the outcome, and we can find joy in the process and in the journey of what we're doing. For a good year, I was loving the process of YouTube and pulling out the camera, writing scripts and showing up for you. But then because I wasn't meeting my goals, it became a chore, and it became almost like a hassle, and I lost my creative spark and my desire to show up for you, because it felt like I was receiving no reward. But that's because I was so desperate in wanting to be monetized on YouTube, as if that's the ultimate goal and the only thing that could make a person happy, which is bullshit. And so about a month ago, maybe longer, I started to apply this principle of the backwards law. I let go and I surrendered to the outcome, and I chose to step into a new place of empowerment and joy. And I'm gonna share with you what happened. Because I let go of the pursuit of trying to be paid on YouTube and trying to be monetized, it's like that dangly shiny carrots, because I let go of that, I felt this freedom to post videos on what I wanted to post, and I felt this freedom to let go a little bit and show my personality more. I think I was afraid that showing my true personality with you would push you away. But because I stopped caring if I get monetized, it's kind of like, well, who gives a crap? Who gives a crap if people don't like me or who I am? I decided to post a video on baby reindeer, and me, when I was trying so hard, would not have dared to post a video on baby reindeer because it was outside of my niche of INFJs. But I did it, and I felt this real joy in doing it, and I felt like something happened to me where I felt that creative spark come out, and surprisingly my views went up. For me, they went up. And then the next week I did another baby reindeer video, and I noticed that the more I've become detached to the outcome, the higher my views have gotten. So I did a video on if there's a link between INFJs and autism, and that got to 2.3k views, which is incredible for my channel. I was not getting views like that. I felt this real celebration and like, oh my gosh, I have figured out this law of attraction thing with reaching my goals and my desires. But then after I did that video and I saw my watch hours go up and I crept closer and closer and closer to getting monetized, I became obsessed again. And you'll never guess what happened when I became obsessed and kept checking my analytics and worrying about my next video and just being so like consumed by it and getting back to that place of desperation and really wanting to get paid on YouTube. Well, that video was posted earlier this week and it tanked. It did absolutely terrible. Now, I don't know if it's because I got desperate or I actually felt in my intuition I needed to have done a different video, but I thought, no, if I do this video, I'm going to get the same views as I did for the autism one. And I chased the views again. I chased the algorithm, which was to my detriment. At the time of filming this video, that video has only gotten 88 views, which is just terrible for me. Terrible for my channel, especially when the last few videos have been getting between 1,000 to 2,000 views. And so I've kicked myself. I haven't really kicked myself, but I've challenged myself to let go again, to apply the backwards law, because the more you try at something, the more you push for it, the more you are desperate for it, the further away it's gonna get taken from you. The less likely you are to achieve it. But when you can get to a place of joy and calm and a feeling of like, meh, whatever, I don't care, then you're more likely to achieve it. And so I want to leave this video saying one thing: stop trying so hard. Maybe you need to quit too. Whatever it is that you're pursuing, whether it's to be monetized on YouTube or it's to have a thriving, booming business, just let go, do your best, trust the process, but stop acting so desperate about it.